Hey guys. So I said to myself in this new year, I am going to take a leap of faith and not be scared to do videos. For some time I've been wanting to get on YouTube and give a little bit more of what I know and do, because I feel like I have a lot to offer. But something was holding me back. Last year was just a rough year in general. But today I have to go and get some things done. So I'm going to just do like a simple face so I can get out of here. And fix my edges a little bit. So I guess I can do like a story time from how I was in the business atmosphere for like practically all my working life, and then how I became a teacher. Because a lot of people ask me, "You're a teacher?" or to give me that reaction like, yes, I'm a teacher and I love it. I know it doesn't pay the greatest, but you gotta love what you do, and I do love what I do. I don't feel like it's work. And there was once a time when I got up and I dreaded going to work. So, I had my son in 2004. I was in school before I had my son at Drexel University, which is in Philadelphia, PA. And I'm using LA Girl Pro Prep to primer my face. And then I did a year and a half there, and then I took off like a year. I was at no, I didn't take off a year. I actually started working at the bank, and I was going to school at Camden County like part-time. And then I took off, I was just going part-time. And then I took off like a semester, and then I got pregnant. And while I was pregnant, I was going to school, but then I had a somewhat difficult pregnancy, and my son was born prematurely, so I had to take some time off. And then I said that I would not go back to school until I felt comfortable that my son was in good health and he was old enough. So I didn't go back to school until about, I want to say 2009. Yeah. So he was a little bit, yeah, it was like 2009. So I think he was like 5 years old, about to be 6. So I went back to Camden County, and I met this lovely lady who was my advisor. I love her to death. Her name is Miss Carol Rosado, and she's still a good friend and advised me on a lot of things to this day. So I got back into school. She helped me with so much, because here's the thing. If you go to a university or college that's a trimester university or college, when you go ahead and transfer your credits to another school, it's harder, because the equivalency of a 3-credit class based on the amount of hours that you do, it doesn't equate to what a normal university or college. So what I mean by normal is, you know, the standard is the fall semester and spring semester. In this case, Drexel has 3 semesters at 10 weeks each. So when I transferred over, I'm doing my edges now, get it out the way. When I transferred over, a 3-credit class, let me give you an example, was worth at Camden County College only 2.33. So when it came to my graduation, I had a lot of difficulty graduating, because I needed to get what was called credit waivers, because there's no such thing as a 1-credit class for like sociology or psychology. There are 1-credit classes, but just not for those particular courses. So what I did was I went to the dean, and they had to sign off what is called a credit waiver. And that was how I was able to march. And luckily, like I said, I had the advisor that I had. She was able to help me graduate in March. So I graduated in March from Camden County College with a degree in business administration. I'm sorry. Spring of 2012. And then I was at the time, so let me backtrack a little bit. In 2004, after I had my son in February. In April, I started working at a collection agency. Didn't think I was going to be there long. Wind up being there for over 11 years. I was there from April of 2004. So now let's fast forward to 2012. At that time, I think I was already in a managerial position or a supervisor position once before. And then I was not. I was back to being a regular collector while I was going to school. And then when I finished in 2012, I will say like a year and a half. I want to say in like 2014, I was promoted again to a supervisor position when the company had merged with a different company. So then I guess I got comfortable for the simple fact that, one, I was making great money, and I was working for a department that incentivized a lot. I was working for collecting for Target, credit card, and store card, and Visa card, and the incentives and bonuses were awesome. I mean, we got bonuses every month. Aside from that, we got Target gift cards. And, you know, I guess, like I said, I got complacent. I got comfortable. And I started slacking on going to school. Although I was still in school. So when I graduated from Camden County, I transferred over to Rutgers. And I went into the economics program. And then, you know, life took over. I was in a relationship and paid more attention to my relationship than to my schoolwork. Although school was really never hard for me. It came naturally. Like, my mom always said that even when I was in high school, like I was in the National Honor Society, graduated at the top of my class. So, you know, it was never something that I had to like sit there and like, don't get me wrong, I had to study and I had to focus and all that, but like I didn't have to work too hard like maybe others did. So from like 2014 to 2016, I probably slacked the most. At the end of 2016, like in the summer of 2016, I was just putting too much effort into my job, being at the job so many hours. And at this time, my son, he's like, you know, he was active in karate at the time. He does have his black belt in Taekwondo, but he was active in karate, active in sports, starting to get into basketball. But I was paying everyone and getting everyone to help me take him to practice, or there was a lot of times I missed his games. So anyway, after the summer, I was just like over it. I had got a settlement from a car accident that I was in, and taking away these flyaway hairs. It's like, oh, mad at. So I was like checked out. Basically, I was called what you call checked out. I mean, the job is very strenuous. It's a very competitive job. I felt like you always had to compete because, you know, we're talking about collecting on accounts, and every time we collect on account, we knew that meant money for us in our bonus check. So like I was making like a base salary $40,000 plus commission. 1 year I made like around 55 grand. Another year I made like 56 grand. So like, you know, I was making really good money, but I wasn't like satisfied. So I wanted to finish school. I was like right there. Like literally I was at 100. I'll never forget. I was looking at my transcript. I had did an audit on my because they kept on sending me messages from Rutgers like, you're almost near graduation, blah, 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 blah. You know, you need 120 credits to get your bachelor's. And they kept on sending me these emails. So I did an audit and I had 109.33 because it was that weird transfer from Drexel that gave me these odd amount of credits. And I was like, man, I'm almost there. Like, I was almost there. Anyway, so I'm gonna put my foundation on now. I'm using the Milani Conceal plus the 2-in-1. So I'm using shade 5. So like I have shade 7, but I'm not this dark. I am like really, really naturally light. But I change colors throughout the year, especially with like my skin is like skin that easily gets tan. And I was looking at a YouTuber who was talking about like black face makeup, and I'm like looking to thinking to myself like, do I do black face makeup? And then I'm thinking to myself like naturally my skin does, like, I'm getting off topic, but I just wanted to make that point. Like, my skin tans so easily, and like I literally could be white as a ghost, and that's like normally when I'm sick and I just got, you know, I'm recovering from getting a procedure done. But I'm being lazy, guys. Oh, I got a new beauty blender. Hold on, let me get that. Anyway, because I was gonna rub it in with my hands, but I what was I saying? Oh yeah, like, so I have like this compared to this. Like, this is so much darker. If you look, it's like so much darker. I mean, this is not my natural skin tone, but like in the summertime, like I said, I can get this dark, and I like to tan, and I like to look really bronzy. So that's like really, really dark. And like, not for nothing, like sometimes I hate the pale looking skin. So, you know, maybe I am guilty of the black face makeup, but oh well. Where's my beauty blenders? All right, so back to my story. So I basically checked out, and it was like basically to the point where it was between my job and going to school and finishing. And basically I chose to finish school. So right in the worst time of the year too, I stopped working at a job that I was at for, like I said, 11.5 years. I should wet this. 1 second. So, oh no, I ran out of my spray. Anyway, I'm going to have to make do because I got to get going. So, I was okay financially at that time, and so it was okay that I left because I already had got all the Christmas shopping that I needed to get done, because I knew I was gonna like leave. I knew that, and so I was prepared. What I wasn't prepared for is like, I was prepared financially, but I wasn't prepared mentally. And what I mean by that is, you get comfortable on the job and you basically know you're making a set amount of money, but I didn't know what was going to come afterwards. It was like, okay, I'm going to go and finish and get my degree, but then what, right? I didn't know what I wanted to do. Now, I always said that one day, and this is still my long-term goal, that I want to become a college professor and teach business and business success classes, or intro to business, macro and microeconomics, because, you know, I am fascinated and I love those classes, and those are the classes that I did extremely well in. So I always wanted to go into higher education. Well, come January, my son was like, Mom, you're not doing nothing. You're only going to school. You know, we need lunch aids, and I'm at our school. So I was like, yeah, I can do it. You know, why not? Plus, it was going to help out with his tuition because my son goes to Catholic school. And, well, he still does. So he went to Catholic school, and so I talked to the principal. I was like, hey, you know, I'm not working. I'm only basically going to school, and I do have time during the day. I can help out during lunch. So then, she had said, oh, okay, great. And then we was talking about, you know, me finishing school. And she's like, oh, no, that's not even how it happened. Lies. My son said, Mom, you should consider teaching, or we need substitutes because we ain't have no teachers today. And I'm tired of going to getting split up and going to people's classes. Sometimes it's cool and sometimes it's not. So I had asked the teacher when I went up there to do the lunch aid. I mean, not his teacher, his principal, to do the lunch aid position. And shout out to Miss Williams, Janet Williams at Sacred Heart School in Camden, New Jersey. She is awesome. I love her. She was like, yes, Erica, we need subs, and you know, I forgot you got your degree, you about to get your degree, you got well over 60 credits, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah. So I went through an outsourcing company to get my sub certification. So I did my sub certification and I got my background check and I did all that. So I got like a 5-year sub certification from a company, and I transferred it. Well, I gave you know, my son's school copies of my paperwork that I was already in the process of. So when I did that, I basically got my sub certification in February, and then I started working at my son's school as a sub the first week of March. It was like, yes, we need subs. And when I didn't work at his school, I was working for different public schools and I tried, you know, around my local area. So, when I first did it, I was so nervous because, you know, kids can be so critical. And I think that's why I was, like, so nervous doing, like, YouTube videos, because, like, people are so judgmental and so critical. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm the type of person who really could care less about what anyone has to say about me. Like, I really take it with a grain of salt, and I just be like, all right, whatever. If I'm not your cup of tea, I'm not your cup of tea, and that's just how it is. So, like, I really don't care. See, I'm doing, like, the most horrible job of doing my makeup today, but I really don't care. See? So, I'm using this as my favorite go-to when I'm trying to do a hurry-up, like, look. So, this is, like, the, Ticket to Brazil, the Wet n Wild bronzer, and I love it. And I put it all over my face. Like I said, I like to look 2 shades darker than what I really am. I'm being honest. Like, my skin is very fair. And I look very drained and pale. And I don't like that look. So I put it all over. And then usually, like, blend it. But my neck is really darker than my face. So you can see. And then, like, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway. Back to what I was saying. So I was scared at first. I was like, oh my God. But I had my very first class I subbed was for, oh my God, I can't remember. Yes, I do. My very first class I subbed for was an 8th grade class. Oh my goodness. And to this day, a lot of those 8th graders that are now in 10th grade, oh my gosh. My babies are damn big. I love them. They were like awesome. They embraced me. They were so cool. They're like, that's Savion's mom. That's my son's name. I'm like, yeah. My son was like really on the fence about, I don't want nobody talking to you mean, Mom. I don't want them coming at you. I'm like, no, they were good. And they completely loved me. So then I was asked to come back for a different teacher. Like, hey, I heard you did a great job. Can you sub for me? And then it was just like a domino effect. And then I started subbing at St. Anthony's, which is a partnership school. So my son is one of the 5 schools that's in the Pensacola, Camden area, and they all considered like Catholic partnership schools, which is it's a subsidiary of the Camden Diocese. So I went and I subbed at St. Anthony, and the reason why I did St. Anthony because I did my confirmation and my communion. I was baptized at that church. I went to that church with my godmother, so that church meant a lot to me. So I said, yeah, let me go. So I went over there. And it was really at first not my cup of tea because it's very different from the school that I was at. But I made the best out of it because I love the students. The students there were awesome. So I was there a few times. So I was in between all the schools. So then I got asked to go to all the schools. So I was rotating between like St. Anthony's. I went to St. Joseph's a few times. St. Cecilia's, I went there a couple times. And I was primarily at Sacred Heart. And then I was offered, I got two long-term positions at Sacred Heart. I did a first grade position for a few months. And then I did an LRC position, which is Learning Resource Centers, what it stands for, which is like a program for kids who have an IEP, who can't be like there. It's like in an inclusive environment. So I did that, and the reason why I did it is because at one point my son was in that class, and I seen what it did for him. So you know, I felt like that was me giving back. So I did that, and you know what? I forgot to put my the batteries in my light. And I think it's like dead. Whatever. So, I did that. And this right here. And I loved it. And I was covering a maternity leave. And once she came back in May. From like May to like the end of, pretty much the end of June. I was at a public school, and I will say this. I did a behavioral class. It was second grade. I was like a co-teacher with another teacher. And, I really did get a lot of experience with being in that month and like a couple days or a month and 2 weeks. I got so much experience. Like the teachers there showed me so much. I got a lot of experience being a sub at the Catholic school, but I will say that I got like a lot of hands-on experience with like just education and period. Like just knowing the different types of like curriculum-based material things, the different programs that they use for the grade, you know, to put the grades in. And so I was appreciative of the teachers who embraced me and showed me the way there. Then that summer, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was like, oh, I gotta find something to do. In the meantime, I worked at a summer program at the local Croc Center that's around here. And then I interviewed. I seen there was a posting for a kindergarten position at St. Anthony's, and I'm like, hey, why not? Because it's long term. It's till November. It was from September to November. So I was like, why not? Then I was like, oh, kindergarten, what am I going to do with the babies? Like, I can handle the bigger kids, but the babies I was a little scared of. So basically, I went and I interviewed for that. Knew the principal, of course, because like I said, I subbed there. I had a lot of good feedback from the other teachers that I subbed for there. So I guess that was a plus for me. Plus, you know, I come from a bilingual household. Not that I speak Spanish very well, but they're transitioning doing a dual language program over there at St. Anthony's, because primarily the population is of some Hispanic origin, or they either come from, or they're either Mexican, Dominican Republic, we got Ecuadorians, we got Guatemalans, we got, like I said, they come from all different ethnicities and backgrounds, but they, you know, primarily speak Spanish. So, because I had like a foundation, I think that was another plus for me too. Plus, I could do the basics, counting, ABCs, the basic verbs, subject verbs agreement. So, she called me and said I got the position, and I was like ecstatic. And I got the kindergarten. So let's go ahead, fast forward. I prepped all August for the class. Got it all set up. The lady that I was covering was on a maternity leave, and I went in there and I killed it. I mean, I thought of that class like it was my classroom. I set this classroom up like it was my classroom. I even invested my own money into it, because that's what I do. I'm like, if I'm passionate about something, I don't mind investing in it. So I did that. And once I did that, I knew not to get too attached, because I was going to leave. And that's the one thing about, let me give anyone who's considering about being a sub, my best advice to you is to learn how to get not to get personally attached. It's kind of hard not to, because if you love what you do and you love the kids, you know, you've grown like a love and for that class that you're with, and it's kind of hard to let go. But what I did always keep in the back of my mind is that this is temporary, this is not permanent, and eventually I do have to say goodbye. Now, when you build relationships with school administration and the principals and the teachers, you know, the goodbye is not always forever. You can always come back. Sometimes you get welcome back. Like at my old school at Carusi, one of the teachers had asked me not too long ago. She reached out to me like, hey, are you still subbing? Would you be interested in subbing for me? And I'm like, hey, I'm teaching permanently now. She's like, congratulations. But don't get personally invested too much because, you know, I brought out the waterworks a couple of times when I had to leave, you know, certain classes. So I learned with this kindergarten class, like, okay, I know I have to leave. And I know that. So I kept it in their mind, like, hey, I'm only your, you know, the teacher now. Your teacher's coming. She can't wait to meet you guys. Like, I even video chat the teacher so she could see her class. Which, that was another story I get into about the different teaching styles and the different experiences you're going to have being in schools with different teachers. So anyway, that's a whole different story time. So I had to slick this baby hair because I had baby hair on my neck. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Hicks edges. It just smells so good, and it really is good for my hair. It doesn't like break it off. It has no alcohol base in it. Let me see. No, it doesn't. I think that's why I loved it. Yeah, this is a really good pomade. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So I come in and I killed it. Like, and I can really thank, I had an aide, and she's still there, Miss Ramos, and she was like God sent angel. I mean, she helped me out so much. But I'm the type of personality, like, I have to do everything myself, and it's like a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because I overwork myself sometimes, and I don't allow people to like help me out. I don't know how to take help, and like I said, that's a bad thing. And, you know, you should always, don't be afraid to ask for help, especially in like an education setting. Like, you can't do it by yourself, and collective minds work better, especially in that type of atmosphere. I learned so much from different teachers and different teaching styles, that I took different things that I learned from being a sub and then being in the classroom with other teachers. If I was helping them as a one-on-one, or when I did a co-teaching position, that I adapted to my own style of teaching and what works best for me. So, I went in there and I was speaking Spanish, and I normally don't speak Spanish, and I was loving these kids, embracing these kids, wanting the best for these kids. These kids came in not even knowing how to spell their last name. I was motivated, I was driven, but I was tired. Kindergarten tired me out. I was going to bed like 5 o'clock in the evening. I would come home and literally be in my clothes on the couch, passed out. It was just so much preparation. I never knew the foundation that kindergarten, first grade sets for your whole entire life. You're basically teaching someone how to read and how to write, and it's just a lot of prep. And I, hands down, to any kindergarten or first grade teacher, and even second grade teachers, I commend you. You guys have one of the hardest jobs. I know firsthand, and I would never take that away from you guys. So that, when I came into this school, what I noticed is that there was a lot of turnaround with the faculty, and that is because of the principal. I will not talk bad about my principal, because me and her have a great relationship and understanding of each other. I know her expectations, and I'm the type of person, like, I don't have no problem with working, and I don't have no problem with someone telling me what to do. I do have a problem with how people tell me how to do it, and I know that sometimes I think a lot of people are not keen to her deliverance. So I feel like a lot of people were leaving because they were not getting along and they found other opportunity elsewhere. I know some people were leaving because, you know, Catholic school does not pay the best to their teachers, and it's sad to say. So if you're a Catholic school teacher, I commend you as well, because I know you're doing it for the love of the job and not the love of the money. But anyway, the principal, like I said, she was blown away with how I did so well with the kindergarten. She offered me an opportunity to become the LRC teacher at St. Anthony School. And I'm like, well, we have an LRC teacher. And she's like, yeah, I just got a notice that she wants to resign. And this was only a month after school. So this was not even a month. This was September 20, I think it was like 1st or 2nd. And I'm like, okay, but I'm in this position till November. What's going to happen with these babies? And she's like, well, we're going to have to find a sub to replace them because I need to fill a permanent position. This is a permanent position. This is with benefits. You'll be on salary. And I'm like, well, I don't have my certification. And she's like, well, I talked to Janet, which was the principal who originally started me out with a school to sub at, and she feel like this would be the best fit for you and will help you work, through that process. In the meantime, you can work as the LRC teacher. And I was like blown away. I was like, whoa, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? My heart was conflicted, and I'm going to tell you why. I knew I had to break the bad news to the little babies that love me and look forward to my smile and me singing every morning, because every morning I came in and I had a new song to sing with them, and I had to tell them that I had to leave, but not, I'm leaving. I'm still going to be here at the school. I'm going to be outside in the trailer. But the cool thing was, I was excited. I was like, I get my own classroom. Like, this is mine. I don't have to leave. And I get to decorate it. And so it was just like, it was like a good feeling and a like not so good feeling at the same time. So I discussed it with my family. They could have been like happier for me. My son was ecstatic. He's like, and the reason why he was ecstatic, because last year he was in 8th grade, and I kind of wanted to not be at his school summit in his 8th grade year, because I feel like he always felt like he had to, protect me there with his, classmates that might say something smart to me. He felt like he had to like defend me. So I wanted him to like have his 8th grade year to himself. So this was even perfect, because I'm like, great, I don't have to go back to Sacred Heart, because didn't tell you, me, I'm always trying to set up the next job. I was like, all right, I have to keep and that's another tip I have for a sub. With a sub, man, this story can go on and on and on, because there's so many things that happen. Okay. If you're going to be a sub, always know when your position ends, and always look ahead to when you want to do another position, especially in the long term. So if you know you're scheduled to leave in like November, start looking for what's going to come afterwards. Are you going to do daily, or do you want to do another long term? And you have to follow up with the people that you're covering. So, keep in contact with whoever, classroom that you're covering for. Are they coming back? Are they sick? Are they still going to be out for the rest of the school year? What does that mean for me? Are you going to keep me here until the end of the school year? Like, you have to ask those questions, so that way you don't be in a position where you're not bringing in income. So I had a job set up at Sacred Heart to be the kindergarten sub again for maternity leave from November to March. So I'm like, yes, like I got myself, set up, for months ahead of time. And so I had to unfortunately, I had to call Miss Williams and said, hey, she's like, I know, I heard, but I was a part of that decision to give you that permanent job. So I already started looking for a sub. So don't feel bad, Erica. I'm not doing the position that you signed up for. I can find a long-term sub. So my Zumba instructor, which is like became a friend, her sister was like interested in becoming a sub. And she wanted to know about the process. So I kind of like told her, and I got her in. And the like last minute, it was a blessing from God. I got her in to do my kindergarten position. And from October the 9th to November the 20, I think it was like 5th or 6th or something like that. Daisy. And then the dad, when she got, look how God works. When she got done that, she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. She signed up for an outsourcing company. In the meantime, to keep her income coming. I got sick and she was a sub for me, an LRC. And at that time, we lost our technology teacher. So blessing from God, because she did that sub position for me and we needed a technology teacher. I had asked the principal and she had got that job, the technology position, until the end of the school year. So look how God works. God works, man. Let me tell you, because there was several times I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, what comes next? What comes next? Because I had to keep income coming in. I got to take care of me and my son. So, let me wrap this up because I'm almost done. I'm going to put on some eyeliner to make my eyes stand out. Yes, I close my eyes and I just glide it on a waterline. Like I said, I'm only trying to do like a natural. I just didn't want to look like Casper the Friendly Ghost when I walk out. I got a new mascara. I love the Wet n Wild, like these. They're only $1 at the Dollar Tree, so don't buy them no other place. Dollar Tree has these. They work just as great as any other expensive, and I have expensive mascaras from Anastasia, and I have a Smashbox, and I got one from BH Cosmetics, and I have all that stuff. But like sometimes you don't even know, like the cheap stuff works just as good, okay? So you literally paying for the brand and makeup too. So here goes a new one. I like to buy these like fresh sometimes, and sometimes they dry out. I think from sitting here near where the heater is at, the vent is at. So yeah, so I put on like a little bit of eyeliner and it makes my eyes stand out. Doesn't look all tired, droopy. I have to like, you know what I forgot? Why y'all didn't say anything? Because y'all can't. I really don't need to, because I did actually a really good job shaping my eyebrows, but I need the outline so they don't look like I have any harsh lines. That's it, guys. Like basically what I'm gonna do right now is clean up a little bit these eyebrows. Okay. And then I'm going to put some mascara. Diablo. And I messed up my eyebrow. The light in here is not good today. And I didn't even think about it before I got on, but it'll be alright. So, that's basically it. So, long story short, that is how I got into teaching. I love what I do. I teach LRC, which is an inclusive classroom. I teach ELA and math, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. I am also after school tutor for middle school math, and I also do mentoring for high school for up and coming freshmen, getting them ready and prepared for the high school experience. I like what I learned over time is that I love being around kids. Kids resonate with me. I don't know, it's because they think that I'm still young, I'm still hip, but I play no games. I am the teacher that everyone don't want to come to. Like, teachers be like, I'm going to send you to Miss Nunez. No, the kids be like, no, don't send me there, because I play no games. I play no games. I have zero tolerance, but I understand where they're coming from. I think that the kids like me because I grew up in the city of Camden, New Jersey. You know, at one point we were like one of the highest rated cities for murders. You know, I was born and raised here, and I'm not going to give up on my city. I believe in my city. I see a lot of good coming out of it. So I'm going to end this right here, right now, just by saying I'm putting on my mascara. I hope to do more videos sooner than later. Like, subscribe, and comment below what you would like to see from me. If you have any things that you need, if you have kids who need some tutorials on math, I am really good at math. I tutor math all the way up until Algebra 2. However, I do know how to do pre-calc and calc. I had economic classes. I do know how to do the business math as well. Again, like I said, like, subscribe, or comment. Until next time. Bye.